Lassin for that intro music. And happy February, everyone.
Yeah. Happy Groundhog Day.
And happy Groundhog's Day. And apparently we're having 6 more weeks of winter. I said to Kai earlier, I said, have we ever seen it otherwise? I don't think so. So welcome, everyone. And welcome those who are watching online as well. I'm glad you made it this afternoon and decided to spend some time with us here at the fellowship. We're going to begin with our opening song that we sing each Sunday. It's on the front of your songbook. So if you would, please stand and we'll join together.
Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything, every day, in every way. Our prayer is this: everywhere, let love be there, and so it is. Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything to the end. Father, Mother, God, your children pray, be loving us in every way.
Thank you, and please be seated. Let's begin to relax for our opening meditation, prayer. I invite you to close your eyes. Let your shoulders drop. Begin to follow your breath. And we'll take our 3 deep fellowship breaths with an audible ah on the out breath. Breathing in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Now let's just bring our minds, just let it drop down into our heart space. And bring our attention to this sacred space within. Maybe put your hand on your heart to keep your focus there. And breathe in and out from this space. We bring our full awareness to the one divine presence, creative intelligence, God of our hearts. Releasing any anxieties, any fears, any worries from this last week, from this day, we turn within and surrender completely to the loving, comforting embrace of the divine. We ask, please show me the divinity, the love that exists in this moment. We search our hearts and listen. How are we called to bring love into our world, into our human experience? We set a firm intention to live consciously each day and each moment, to practice kindness and compassion, and to extend love and healing, and to be peace. We remember who we are and what we were created to be. Love itself. Bringers and holders of light. And we commit to carry on with our work, to love deeply ourselves and every being on this planet. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Remember, you'll find a connection card in your packet, and if you have someone or something or some situation you would like all of us to pray for later in the service, just drop that card in the basket as John comes around for the collection later. And now let us welcome the dangling participles.
First song we're going to play for you is one that I wrote recently. A few months ago, in November, Brene Brown wrote on social media that she was feeling kind of down, feeling a lot of despair about what's going on in the world. And she talked about not being able to tap into a vast reserve of hope these days. But she talked about needing to microdose hope, that we need to find little small amounts of it wherever we can every day. And she talked about while despair is a feeling, hope, it can be a cognitive process, something that you can intentionally choose a little bit every day. And I really like that idea, so this song is called Microdosing Hope. Despair is all claustrophobic walls. It's an emotion saying nothing will ever change. It's a feeling that comes stealing and keeps me reeling, and it's not easy when all I want is to disengage. Or rage, I wanna blame, discharge pain, online flame, try to gain back a modicum of control. I wanna hide, close my eyes, never ever go outside again. Bury myself in a hole. Despair's like drowning in slow motion, but it's just an emotion. And if we can find just a little hope, I swear it can be an antidote. There's no vast reserve, no big supply, but there's enough to just get by. And little bits of hoping are enough to keep me floating. So I am microdosing hope. I am microdosing hope. Yeah, I am microdosing hope. I am microdosing hope. Despair is all claustrophobic walls and emotions saying nothing will ever change. But hope is a process, it's cognitive, it's progress, it's the hard step we can make today. I know you want to blame, discharge pain, online flame, try to gain back a modicum of control. I know you want to hide, close your eyes, never ever go outside again. Bury yourself in a hole. 'Cause despair is drowning in slow motion, but it's just an emotion. And if we can find just a little hope, I swear it can be an antidote. There's no vast reserve, no big supply, but there's enough to just get by. And little bits of hoping are enough to keep me floating. So I am microdosing hope. Yeah, I am microdosing hope. Yeah, I am microdosing hope. Yeah, I am microdosing hope. There's no fear, OD and crash to the ground. There's just not quite that much hope yet going round. But you know, if all of us build up our hope tolerance, we might just turn ourselves around. So let's keep microdosing hope. Sing it with us. Let's keep microdosing hope. 2 more times. Let's keep microdosing hope. Yeah, let's keep microdosing hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to sing a song together. And it is on page 42 in your songbooks. Our speaker requested this song today, so I'm sure we'll see how this ties in. Page 42 is We Are One Family. And also a good thing to remember right now. Please stand.
We are one family, only one family, filling the universe with perfect light. Children of destiny, living in harmony, loving our unity, shining bright. Good times and bad times have come our way, bringing us home to the love in this day. This is the season of simple things, a time to rejoice in the homecoming dream. We are one family, only one family, filling the universe with perfect light. Children of destiny, living in harmony, loving our unity, shining bright, searching and questioning, trying to find peace and contentment, a quiet mind, seasons and passages that never end. Now is the moment, let peace begin. We are one family, only one family, filling the universe with perfect light. Children of destiny, living in harmony, loving our unity, shining bright, shining bright. We are one family, living light.
Please stay standing and say hello to your neighbor.
I love your internal rhymes. Tumble down the linguistic hole.
Good. Okay, that was what a great start. Oh, that's so
We are getting ourselves back into our seats. It is a good day for a hot cup of tea.
No.
Well, I am very happy to introduce our speaker this afternoon, Richard Lassin, and I'm hoping that he can offer us a little inspiration on this Sunday afternoon, so please give him a warm welcome.
Hey. Nice to see everybody. Turn my microphone on. Okay, here we go. I volunteer over at McLaren's ER, and they gave me this cube. I don't know if you've ever seen these. They're kind of stress cubes. And, you know, if you look at it, it's kind of translucent. And the interesting about it is that, you know, you can twist this thing in just about any type of shape and form. And then when you leave it alone, what happens to it?
Oh, it comes back.
It goes back into the shape of the cube. And I thought about the spiritual message that was with that. Sometimes, we twist ourselves all out of shape, but if we leave it alone and sit down, it returns back to the form. So maybe there's something, you look at it, you can't see the structure, but there are hidden structures within it, and there are hidden structures within us as well. I think it's a good metaphor about what to do under stressful times. So I'd like to start out with doing just some mindfulness, some mindful meditation. And so just get yourself comfortable. This is a little different. We'll do a standard meditation in the middle of my talk and see how that goes. So make yourself comfortable. And the purpose of this is to be fully present in this moment. That's all there is. Using our senses to really perceive what is around us without judgment. So using your eyes, what do you see? I see windows. I see snowy ground. I see trees, people and chairs. I see a sanctuary. I see different colors and shapes. What do you see? And if you like, you can close your eyes for a minute. What do you hear? Maybe you hear the whir of a fan, the creak of a chair, the passing of a car rumbling down the road. Maybe you hear someone inhale. What is it that you hear? Listen carefully without judgment. Now we move to, what do you smell? What do you feel? Feel a little achy? Do you feel the weight of your body in your chair? Do you feel the coolness of the air going through your nose or mouth? What do you feel? And when I live in this present moment exclusively, all thoughts about the past or the future drop away. Depression and anxiety do not exist here. This holy instant is available to us all the time. It's a place of peace, of quiet, serenity. Okay. Well, I'll get started with my talk. So, Mary asked me to speak. I knew it was coming up, and so I find it interesting how my talk evolves over time. And a couple of months ago, I started getting some ideas, and I write them down. And I have a computer, and I put it in a Word document, and I expand on these ideas. But what's interesting is that what I start out with isn't what I end up with, and that I ask that the talk not be so much guided by my ego, but by what would serve well. And so a lot of the original material has fallen away, into the cyber disk. And what you're seeing here is what evolved, and some of it evolved just this morning. Last week, Mary spoke about her difficulty understanding A Course in Miracles and asked, help me see this differently. As she has portrayed is that instantly she was given an insight. So my question for Mary is, who did you direct your question to?
The all it is.
Okay. So I find this a fascinating process. I'd like to expand on this and see if we too can connect with this divine presence. So what I'm going to do is everybody should have a piece of paper, and we'll pass those out. And I would like you to write down a a question, or 2 or 3, that you have that you would like answered. It can be something about money, relationships, health, and work. Maybe your question would be something a bit more introspective, like, why am I here? Or what is my life's purpose? And as I deliver today's message, gently reflect upon those questions. So we'll give you a minute here to write that down, and we'll get back with you in a minute. Just think about it. If you were allowed to be asked one question to the Divine Presence, what might it be? How we doing? Okay. So how might the Divine Presence communicate to us? Certainly in various ways. Biblically, I think about Moses and the burning bush, and Apostle Paul saw a blinding light while on the road to Damascus, and his life was changed, and his name changed from Saul to Paul and became a primary foundation block of Christianity. Maybe Divine Presence reveals itself through a book we read, maybe a movie we see, or maybe through a friend. But on rare occasions, something extraordinary happens. I think of Helen Schuckman, who penned the Course in Miracles, and she channeled that over the course of several years, I believe. Interesting, she never penned her name to the book. And as I understand, she had serious reservations about some of the material she channeled. I've read the book, and not from front to cover, but I found the book difficult to read at times. But the message was very clear and can be simplified into all that is real can never be threatened, and all that is not real doesn't exist. Herein lies the peace of God. The workbook that accompanied her book, it came from that book. In my opinion, was divinely inspired. It was 365 lessons about how to transform your life. I also think of modern people who have been inspired by the Divine Presence, and Neil Donald Walsh comes to mind. Are people familiar with his work? Yeah, he wrote the trilogy of The Conversation of God. Not unlike yourself, Neil had questions too. He wrote down a question at first, just complaining about all the injustices that he endured, and asked for an explanation. As he explains, and the story goes, his hand continued to write without his control, and the hand wrote, "Do you really want an answer, or are you just venting?" The author went into this meditative state and wrote 3 books over the course of several years. The Divine Presence explained that we are all creators, and we're imbued with the power to create whatever we like. Most of us create unconsciously. John Taylor spoke a couple of weeks ago, quite eloquently touched upon the subjects. And here's some of the things that Neil Donald Walsh insights had that he wanted to convey through his questions that he had. God's 3 most messages to the world in 5 words. You got me all wrong. I am not the judging, condemning, punishing deity you have declared me to be. Divinity can be defined in 2 words: pure love. Do not need, expect, require, or demand anything in return for my life. This is hard to believe because virtually every interaction in your world is quid pro quo. Even love is, for most of you, transactional. And you can't imagine a God who is not like you, but I promise you, I am not like you. God's second most important message to the world. In 4 words, we are all one. All things are one thing, there's only one thing, and all things are part of the one thing. And his last message to the world is, in 6 words, your life is not about you. Your life is about everyone whose life you touch and how you touch it. When you realize this, you live your life in concert with this awareness. In a universal sense, your life is about you for a very elegant reason. There's no one else in the room. So, let's see if we can do a standard meditation, and I'd like you to take your question, and you can either hold it in your hand or with your heart. And we'll see if something comes. So, just get comfortable again, and let's just close our eyes, and let's do 3 fellowship breaths together. Inhale, hold, and exhale. One more time. Inhale, hold, and exhale. One last time. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Relaxing our body, working with our feet and our ankles firmly on the ground. Relaxing our legs and our knees and our ankles. Moving up the body and our torso, and our pelvis, and all the internal organs. That they relax. That they find perfect peace. Our shoulders and our arms and hands and fingers relax. And finally our head, our ears and eyes, our neck, our tongue and our mouth. All relax. All the worries that are held in our body drop to the floor. We are free from all of that right now. Finding quiet, gentle place with no fear, no judgment, just perfect peace. This is our inheritance. And the Course in Miracles says, in quietness, all things are answered. Be open to the idea that the divine presence can make itself known to you, and that your question is legitimate and worthy of an answer. We've all come a long way. We have grown, and we are here at this precipice, walking into the light of the divine presence. Just spend a minute quietly reflecting upon your question without judgment. If thoughts come to mind, just return your concentration and reflection upon your breath. Okay, so let's gently kind of come back to the room. Be here, fully present. What did you experience? Would anyone like to share what they wrote down or what they experienced? Well, I had 3 questions that I had asked over this last week. And I'll share them with you. What is the solution to my problems? I became aware that if I live in the present moment more fully, all my problems diminish. I'm also aware that acceptance is the answer to all of my problems. When I am disturbed, it's because I find some person, place, thing, situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept the person, place, thing, situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. I need to work on that answer every day. My second question is, why am I here? I don't think I've got a complete answer to this, but I can share with you the parts that I am aware of. I am here to see how far I can change my life and the lives of others by changing my attitude. As I practice kindness and altruism, doors open to a new reality. I am reminded that heaven is not a destination, but the realization that it is right here, right now. I simply need to awaken to that reality. Hopefully more will be revealed in time. My third question, how do we grow the fellowship? The first thing that came to mind was the lyrics to the song that we just sang. We are one family, only one family, filling the universe in perfect light. Children of destiny, living in harmony, loving in unity, shining bright. I think that answers some of the question. As some of you might know, last week we had a visitor. I believe he was a homeless fellow, and he came on knocking on our door. And he was hungry, and we let him in and had some food, and I needed to use the restroom. You know, this isn't the first time it's happened, and I can understand how for some of us, this is a bit stressful when street people come in, and at times they've interrupted the service. But I see this as an opportunity to practice the principles in all our affairs. If our spirituality is only restricted to those people like ourselves, I don't think that we're fully getting the point. Is that I need to extend outside my comfort zone and offer kindness to people who are not like me at all. The fellow that came in, his name was Ron, and when he spoke, and he was a delightful, person. He was kind. I can't solve the problems of people's lives like that, but I can practice kindness. And I think if our spiritual mission only, like I said, if our spiritual mission only targets people like ourselves, I think it's rather restrictive. Every action and inaction has a ripple effect. What we do to our brothers and sisters is what we do to ourselves. If we're to grow our fellowship, this is how we do so. I believe the universe will take note of our actions or inactions. So I've spoken to other people, and this is not an uncommon thing. Churches have been, been visited by homeless people, and at times it's a little stressful sometimes. But this is the reality that we have. They are our brothers and sisters. I also found an answer to my question from Thich Nhat Hanh, who challenged me to see things differently. Here he talks about a leaf that is falling. And not unlike Mary, he asked to see this differently, and this is what he found. I asked the leaf if it was afraid of falling, as it was autumn and the other leaves were falling down. The leaf replied to me, "No, throughout the spring and summer, I've been very much alive I worked hard and helped feed the tree, and a big part of me is in the tree. Please don't think I'm just the shape, because the shape is just a tiny part of me. I'm the whole tree. I know I'm already inside the tree, and when I return to the earth, I will continue to feed the tree. That's why I ain't worried. As I fall from the branch and float to the ground, I'll wave to the tree and say, I'll see you again very soon. Suddenly, as Thich Nhat Hanh explains, I had a deep vision. We need to see life differently. We should not talk about leaf life, but life in the leaf and life in the tree. My life is just life. You can see it in me and in the tree. I saw the leaf leave the branch and float to the ground, dancing merrily, because as it floated, you could already see it in the tree. She was so happy. I bowed my head and knew we had a lot to learn from the leaf, because it was not afraid. It knew that nothing can be born and nothing can die. In closing, the questions that you wrote down are worthy of good answers, like I said before. It could take time for it to materialize. But if you ponder these questions, I think answers will come. I feel confident that the divine presence will not deny you an answer. As the Course in Miracles says, in quietness, all things are answered. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. Very inspiring. So this is the time in our service when I like to remind myself and all of us to fill our hearts with gratitude for all of the blessings and gifts in our lives. If we open our eyes and are willing to see them, we'll find them everywhere. And also a time when we extend our appreciation to everyone who supports the fellowship in the many ways that the fellowship gets supported. For your generous donations, for your time, for your help, for your talents. So John's going to come around with the basket for any donation that you might have today. If you donate online, just hold your gift in consciousness and know how grateful we all are to you. And we'll sing together, I am grateful.
Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful.
So if you would bring out your bulletin and read with me the blessing of our tithes and offerings. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. And let's take another moment of quiet as we go within again. As we wrap our love around everyone who's named in the basket today, every being, every situation, every condition that is held in our hearts. we remember that we are love. We are light. It is in this moment that we have worked and trained for. To be able to put aside our judgments and criticism, to see beyond, to see the bigger spiritual picture. To know that everything happens in divine right order. And may everyone named in the basket today open their hearts to receive love, the deepest, truest love, the life force that permeates our human experience, that is our human experience. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much. And we have some very special music again from the Dangling Participles.
So last weekend I was at a songwriter's retreat, and my prompt was, what brings you hope? What brings me hope is singing together. So we're passing out some song sheets for a brand new song called Will You Be the Hope? So we're going to run through it one time so you can get it, and then we'll sing it together. You'll repeat the last line of each phrase. All right? Will you be the hope? Will you be the hope? We can be the hope. Be the first drop of water when the bucket is dry. Be the first drop of water when the bucket is dry. Sing along. Here we go. We'll be the hope. Will you be the hope? Will you be the hope? We can be the hope. Be the first drop of water when the bucket is dry. Be the first drop of water when the bucket is dry. Boys, will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? We can be the voice, voice. Be the blue jay who calls it out when something's not right. Be the blue jay who calls it out when something's not right. Feel free to harmonize if you want to. Calm. Will you be the calm? Will you be the calm? We can be the calm. Be the lullaby soothing all the children at night. Be the lullaby soothing all the children at night. Warmth. Will you be the warm? Will you be the warm? We can be the warm. Be the sun in the morning and the promise of light. Be the sun in the morning and the promise of light. Straight. Will you be the strength? Will you be the strength? Will you be the spark? Will you be the spark? We can be the spark, spark. Be the hot steel shining to a land and ignite. Be the hot steel shining to a land and ignite. First verse, hope. Will you be the hope? Clap along. Will you be the hope? The hope. sing along.
Well, I would call this a really wonderful service. Thank you, Denver Participles. Thank you, Corey. Thank you for your wonderful message, Richard. Thank you for the really thoughtful and perfect songs for this time in our world. And thank you all for being here. Thank you, those watching. I hope that you found something that you can take away to make your week a lot better. So I have some announcements. I want to remind everyone about the Valentine fundraiser pizza party. And it's on Valentine's Day. That's a Friday at 5:30 p.m. here in this building. And the pizza will be provided. So if you can bring a dessert or side to share, that would be great. We know for sure that Matt Blyton is joining us for some music and possibly some other folks. We'll see. But it should be a fun evening, so please join us. Death Cafe is that next Saturday, February the 15th at 2 p.m. in this building. And of course, as always, every Monday at 4 p.m., Healing Movements with our Reverend Julie Dillon, and every Thursday at 4 p.m., Chair Yoga with our Julie Dillon. So thank you again for being here. Let's join in our circle and say our closing blessing together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God.